Let me just say this much out of the gate. If you watch this film, you're probably never going to look at a can of soup the same way ever again. I mean, I don't feel like I would eat you at all unless I was sick. Ugh. Weapons is the sophomore effort for writer and director Zack Cregger, who you might remember from Barbarian a few years ago, an insanely up horror movie, which I have confirmed has yet to get a physical media release. Why the are we delaying on that? But yeah, for horror movie junkies like myself, considering the hype that this movie had, the 100% score that it had on Rotten Tomatoes for a while, I was kind of antsy to see this. And I had some stuff come up in my life which prevented me from seeing it opening weekend. Better late than never. The plot of this movie follows the seemingly inexplicable case of 17 children from the same classroom except for one who mysteriously run away on the same night at the exact same time, having been apparently abducted by an unseen force. Now, I should also warn you, for those of you who might be confused at the structure of this movie if you decide to watch it, it is presented in non-linear form, where it shows you one sequence of events that kind of start off with, and then it kind of shifts to a different character's point of view. You get 6 different chapters here. It almost felt to me like how Quentin Tarantino would structure a lot of his films. And I don't know if Zack Cregger took influence from Tarantino and how he structured this film, but let me just say this much. Weapons, I think, is one of the strongest movies of 2025. And what... it feels like it's a comeback year for the genre, guys. I mean, you got Sinners, Bring Her Back Together, and now Weapons. Like, holy cow. These all feel like movies that could very easily slot into my top 10. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not just fanboying and leaning into the hype here. I sat through this film. It was excellent. The only thing I wish was different was that I saw it with an opening night crowd. Because I'm here to tell you, Zack Cregger, I think, is 2 for 2. This is an insanely up scary movie for sure. A lot like Barbarian was. But I think what might put Weapons over the hump for me, and this is just based on first viewing by itself, this movie is not just a horror movie. It's a mystery, and a very compelling mystery with insanely compelling characters. And a lot like Tarantino's best movies, this feels like an ensemble cast. Josh Brolin is in this movie playing the father of one of the abducted kids, and he probably turns in some of the best work I've seen from him in years, probably since Thanos. Julia Garner is in this movie playing the teacher of the kids that went missing, and she might feel like the emotional crutch of this movie. She was so damn good. 2025 feels like her year. What, after Wolfman and the Fantastic Four? She's having a great year for herself, man. What about Alden Ehrenreich? I haven't seen him in a new movie in a long time, have you? He plays a cop in this, and he is really solid. I mean, Benedict Wong is really good in this movie playing the principal. Austin Abrams gets a lot of really fun moments. Amy Madigan turns out to be a super creepy presence. I mean, just the talent that is involved in this movie. Cinematographer Larkin Siepel, you might remember him from Swiss Army Man, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Weapons looks beautiful. The shot composition, the editing, the score, which Zack Cregger actually had a hand in composing. This feels like such an immersive world. I'm not going to sit here and say that Weapons is one of the scariest movies of all time, but I feel like the reason why a lot of people are leaning into that opinion, this is the real world. This is so well grounded in reality. Sure, there might be some supernatural elements and it might get insanely gory towards the end, which part of me feels like is going to start to become Zack Cregger's calling card, a lot like Tarantino's is. But this is a film that just keeps you on the edge of your seat, and a lot like Barbarian, it keeps you guessing, and it constantly keeps you hooked. And that's where I feel like the editing of this movie is pitch perfect, because it feels like every single chapter ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, and it shows you how different parts of the characters' stories weave together. And it makes you look at different situations in a whole different light. And it constantly makes you wonder what's going to happen next. And the reason why this movie is titled Weapons, I dare not spoil anything, there's some pretty surreal imagery, and the haunting, disturbing image that you see in the trailer of the kids all running towards a specific location, just like a lot of people's favorite anime. There's some pretty spooky shit going on here, guys. And when the reveal actually happens, it's like, are they really going with this? And they really lean into that. I will say, though, one of my big nitpicks with this movie, and I have 2 of them. There's only 2 that I feel like are holding it back from being a completely perfect horror movie. The villain's motivation feels like it's almost non-existent. And I don't know, this might just be something that'll be fixed on a repeat watch, but the movie starts and ends with narration. It pretty much explains to you the situation, what's going to happen. It explains to you what happened to the victims after the fact. So why couldn't the script explain the motivation of the villain? That's what I'm wondering, and maybe I'm not reading as deep into this as the movie wants me to. Maybe the movie's trusting me a little bit more than I'm letting myself trust myself, and just what I've been reading into the movie and like how I see it. But man, I'm gonna be thinking about this one for a while, guys. I want to go watch it again. This movie ruled. I will also say though, getting back to the narration, one thing that I feel like won't be fixed on a repeat viewing, the ending did feel a bit abrupt. In the grand scheme of things, there's something extremely satisfying that happens right in the closing minutes of this movie, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. And then it just cuts to more narration for 30 seconds, and then boom, okay, movie over. Everybody go home. It's like, I kind of wish that the narration wasn't there at all, or maybe dig deeper a little bit, maybe just one more minute. But listen, this is just me looking for stuff to nitpick at this point. Weapons, I feel like, is one of the best movies of the year that I've seen up to this point. I think if you don't like gory stuff, you're not going to get a lot of it until the closing minutes. And it's not your quintessential, like, jump scare, haunted house-like experience that you'd expect out of a lot of mainstream horror movies. No, this is a compelling psychological mystery. Deranged in nature, yes, but it's a mystery at its core. And once you figure out what the weapons are and how they are weaponized, you're going to be hooked into this thing. I'm going to give Weapons an A. Zack Cregger, you've done it again. I can't wait to see what you do next. Let me know what you thought of Weapons down in the comments section. I don't know. I don't know if I can say that it's better than Barbarian right now. I haven't gone and rewatched Barbarian a ton since it first came out. This one I'm probably going to rewatch a lot more. But hit that subscribe button if you're new. Tap on that thumbs up as well. Which horror movie do you think was the best so far of 2025? Considering that this feels like a comeback year for the genre, there's a lot that you can pick from. Thank you all so much again for your continued support of this content. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.